If you're over 40, you know that feeling. That subtle, nagging sense that your body doesn't run like it used to. Maybe your energy feels off. Maybe your sleep feels off. Maybe your focus suddenly feels out of tune. You might be noticing that stubborn abdominal fat that doesn't respond to diet, or a persistent brain fog that wasn't there before. These aren't just signs of getting older. They're often early warnings of a silent engineering flaw within your human engine, a bug that can quietly lead to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even cognitive decline. Most people ignore it, or worse, they dismiss it as inevitable. But it's not. In this video, you're going to learn 3 critical things. First, the hidden metabolic glitch that's draining your power. Second, the early warning signs you've likely missed. And third, how to recalibrate your fuel system to reclaim your vitality. We're going to expose a biological secret, a silent wear and tear on your engine's most vital components. And we're going to show you how to fix it. Now, let's talk about this silent engineering flaw, insulin resistance. Imagine your body's fuel system. When you eat, especially carbohydrates, your body breaks them down into glucose, the primary fuel for your cells. Your pancreas, like a sophisticated fuel pump, releases insulin. Insulin is a hormone that acts as a key. It unlocks your cells to let glucose in. This is how your engine gets its power. It's a beautifully designed system, efficient, responsive. But what happens when the locks on your cells start to get sticky? What happens when your cells, after years of constant glucose surges from a modern diet, become less responsive to insulin's key? This is insulin resistance. Your pancreas has to work harder. It pumps out more and more insulin to try to force those cellular doors open. It's like pressing harder on the gas pedal when your engine is struggling. It works for a while, but it's not sustainable. Eventually, the pump itself starts to wear out. That leads to more serious breakdowns. This isn't just about blood sugar. It's a systemic breakdown. This constant high insulin state, known as hyperinsulinemia, is a silent stressor on your entire human engine. It's a major reason why that stubborn fat accumulates around your midsection, particularly visceral fat that wraps around your organs. It's why your energy levels crash mid-afternoon. You feel drained. You reach for another coffee or a sugary snack. It's why you might be experiencing brain fog, difficulty concentrating, or even memory lapses. Your body is literally struggling to access its fuel efficiently, even if you're eating regularly. It's like having a full gas tank, but a clogged fuel line. The energy can't reach where it's needed most. Many of us, especially after 40, have been told these symptoms are just aging. You're tired? Welcome to your 40s. Can't lose weight? Your metabolism is slowing down. While some changes are natural, this pervasive narrative often ignores the underlying metabolic reality. It normalizes a preventable decline. The truth is, your body isn't meant to simply break down and lose efficiency after 40. It's a high-performance machine that needs specific maintenance and specific understanding, especially as the demands on its systems change. Medical history, unfortunately, has often focused on treating the symptoms of metabolic dysfunction, instead of identifying and correcting the root cause of insulin resistance early on. This leaves a massive gap in our understanding of how to truly maintain our bodies as high-performance machines. Recent studies, like those published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, highlight just how widespread insulin resistance is. It often affects up to 50% of adults over 40, many of them completely unaware. It's a silent epidemic. It's quietly eroding our health and vitality. It contributes to chronic, low-grade inflammation that damages tissues throughout your body. The conventional healthcare system, often focused on treating symptoms rather than root causes, frequently misses this critical early warning sign. It only shows up when it has progressed to full-blown type 2 diabetes, heart disease, or even certain types of cancer. This oversight means millions are living with a compromised engine, unaware that a simple recalibration is possible. And here's the feeling I want you to notice. It can feel like there is a major engineering shift happening inside your body, and no one has ever explained it to you this clearly. In the next part, we're going to look at how this silent fuel system malfunction impacts your brain's control center and your heart, and why understanding this connection is absolutely crucial for your long-term health and cognitive function. So, we've established that insulin resistance is like a silent bug in your fuel system. It forces your pancreas to overwork. It makes your cells less efficient at absorbing glucose. But the impact of this isn't confined to your energy levels or your waistline. This is where the plot thickens. Modern science reveals a deeper, more interconnected story about your human engine, especially about your most vital systems, your brain and your heart. Think of your brain as the control center of your entire operation. It demands a steady, reliable supply of fuel. When insulin resistance sets in, this steady supply is compromised. Your brain cells, just like other cells, can become less responsive to insulin. Insulin is crucial for glucose uptake and for neurotransmitter function. This can lead to what's often called brain fog, difficulty concentrating, impaired decision-making, memory issues. Researchers at the National Institute on Aging and many other institutions have increasingly linked chronic insulin resistance to a higher risk of cognitive decline. And even to Alzheimer's disease, sometimes referred to as type 3 diabetes. It's a silent threat to your most vital control system. It slowly erodes its processing power and memory banks. Your brain isn't getting the consistent, clean energy it needs to function optimally. That leads to performance issues you might blame on stress or overwork. But this isn't just about feeling tired. It's about the integrity of your cognitive hardware. And what about your heart? Your heart is the most critical pump in your engine. It tirelessly circulates fuel and oxygen to every component. High insulin levels, a hallmark of insulin resistance, are not benign. They contribute to chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout your body. They stiffen your blood vessels. They can lead to elevated blood pressure and to unhealthy cholesterol profiles, higher triglycerides, lower HDL, the good cholesterol. This isn't just a theory. Large-scale epidemiological studies, such as the Framingham Heart Study and the Nurses' Health Study, have consistently shown that insulin resistance is an independent risk factor for cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, and strokes, even before a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. It's like having a constant low-grade overload on your engine's most vital pump, slowly wearing down its components, increasing the risk of catastrophic failure. This metabolic shift is particularly critical for women during perimenopause and menopause. Hormonal changes, especially the decline in estrogen, can worsen insulin resistance. That makes weight gain around the abdomen more common. It intensifies symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, and sleep disturbances. It's a double whammy for the female human engine. Hormonal software updates collide with a compromised fuel system. For men, the picture is slightly different, but equally concerning. Andropause, or age-related testosterone decline, often goes hand in hand with increased visceral fat and metabolic syndrome. This creates a vicious cycle. Insulin resistance worsens testosterone levels. Lower testosterone worsens insulin resistance. This can lead to decreased libido, muscle loss, and increased fatigue, further compromising the engine's overall performance. This isn't about blaming you for feeling these changes. It's about understanding the sophisticated interplay of hormones, metabolism, and lifestyle that impacts your engine after 40. And here's the feeling that often comes up. It's like finally someone is showing you the science behind what you feel in your own body. The good news is that this isn't a one-way street. There are windows of opportunity for intervention, for recalibrating your system, for protecting your heart and your brain from these silent threats. In the next block, we're going to uncover specific, actionable steps you can take to identify if this silent bug is affecting your engine, and how to start reversing the damage, turning those warning signs into opportunities for optimization. Now that we've connected insulin resistance to the health of your brain's control center and your heart's vital pumping action, let's talk about the subtle, often overlooked warning signs that your human engine might be experiencing this silent fuel system malfunction. These signs aren't always obvious. They're frequently dismissed as normal aging. But once you know what to look for, you can start to connect the dots. You can understand the language your body is speaking. Here are 5 warning signs you should never ignore if you're over 40. They are often whispers from your engine's fuel system. They indicate a deeper metabolic imbalance. First, that stubborn abdominal fat. We're not talking about a little extra around the middle. We're talking about visceral fat that seems to defy all diet and exercise efforts. It accumulates around your organs. This isn't just cosmetic, it's a metabolic alarm bell. Research published in The Lancet consistently shows a strong correlation between increased visceral fat and insulin resistance. This type of fat actively secretes inflammatory compounds. They worsen the problem. They contribute to systemic inflammation. It's like having a slow leak in your fuel tank that you can't plug, and that leak is damaging the entire system. Second, constant cravings for sugar and carbs. If you find yourself always reaching for sweets, starchy foods, or refined carbohydrates, especially after meals, it's a sign your cells aren't efficiently absorbing glucose. Your body is screaming for fuel, even if you just ate, because the fuel isn't getting into the cells where it's needed. This is a classic symptom of a fuel system struggling to deliver energy. It creates a vicious cycle of consumption and energy crashes. It's your engine sputtering, demanding more fuel even when it's already full. Third, mid-afternoon energy crashes and post-meal fatigue. Do you hit a wall around 2 or 3 p.m.? Do you feel like you need a nap, another coffee, or a sugary pick-me-up just to function? Do you feel unusually tired after meals? This isn't just a busy schedule. It's often a direct result of unstable blood sugar caused by insulin resistance. Your body isn't managing its fuel supply smoothly. You ride dramatic peaks and valleys in energy. Your engine's power delivery is inconsistent. You feel the dips in performance. Fourth, brain fog, difficulty concentrating, and memory lapses. As we discussed, your brain needs a steady, efficient fuel supply. When insulin resistance disrupts this, you might experience trouble focusing, a general haziness in your thinking, or difficulty recalling words or names. It's like your control center is running on an intermittent power supply. You get processing delays and occasional system freezes. A study from the University of California, San Francisco showed that even mild insulin resistance can impair cognitive function in middle-aged adults. Fifth, poor sleep quality, especially waking up at night. Many factors affect sleep, but insulin resistance can play a significant role. Unstable blood sugar can trigger stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline overnight. That disrupts your sleep architecture. It keeps you from getting deep, restorative sleep. You might wake up feeling unrefreshed, even after a full night in bed. A study in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine highlighted the bidirectional relationship between sleep disturbances and insulin resistance. Each one makes the other worse. These signs are not isolated incidents. They are interconnected signals from your human engine. They suggest that its metabolic software might need an update. Ignoring them is like ignoring a persistent check engine light, hoping it will just go away. These are not merely symptoms of getting older. They are actionable insights into your metabolic health. But there's another layer most people over 40 are never told. We'll go there next. We'll talk about how to measure and confirm this silent issue with specific lab tests, and what precise questions to ask your doctor to get the answers you need. Now that you're aware of the silent signals your human engine might be sending, the crucial question becomes, what can you actually do about it? This isn't about quick fixes or magic pills. It's about understanding your engine's diagnostics and making precise, science-backed adjustments to its operating system. This is where you become the lead engineer of your own body. First, let's talk about diagnostics. Many people are told their blood sugar is normal based on a fasting glucose test. But that's often like checking only one gauge on a complex dashboard. A single fasting glucose reading can be perfectly normal, even when significant insulin resistance is present. To truly understand your metabolic health and detect insulin resistance early, you need to ask your doctor for specific lab tests that give you a more complete picture. Here are 3 essential lab tests to request, beyond standard fasting glucose. First, fasting insulin. This is perhaps the most overlooked and critical marker. A high fasting insulin level, even with normal blood glucose, is a strong indicator that your pancreas is working overtime. It's pushing out excess insulin to keep your blood sugar in check. It's an early warning sign that your cells are becoming resistant and that your fuel pump is under immense strain. A recent review in Diabetes Care emphasized the importance of fasting insulin as a powerful predictor of future metabolic disease, often years before glucose levels become elevated. Optimal fasting insulin levels are typically below 5 microunits per milliliter. Second, HbA1c, glycated hemoglobin. This test provides an average of your blood sugar levels over the past 2 to 3 months. It gives a broader, more stable picture than a single fasting glucose reading. It can reveal trends you might otherwise miss. It's like checking your engine's long-term fuel efficiency, not just its current RPM. While a normal range might go up to about 5.6%, aiming for an HbA1c below roughly 5.4% is often considered more optimal for metabolic health and longevity. Third, HOMA-IR, the homeostatic model assessment of insulin resistance. This is a calculation derived from your fasting glucose and fasting insulin levels. It gives you a numerical estimate of your insulin resistance. It's not always ordered routinely, but it's a powerful tool to quantify the degree of resistance. You can even calculate it yourself if you have your fasting glucose and insulin numbers. A HOMA-IR score above about 1.5 to 2.0 generally indicates some degree of insulin resistance. Don't be afraid to ask your doctor for these tests. You are the CEO of your own human engine. You deserve the full diagnostic report to make informed decisions. Once you have this information, you can start making targeted adjustments. This isn't about deprivation, it's about intelligent recalibration. Think of it as fine-tuning your engine's fuel intake and output. You optimize its performance, you extend its lifespan. Here are 4 daily habits that quietly protect your heart, your brain, and your metabolism. They directly address insulin resistance. First, prioritize protein and healthy fats at every meal, especially breakfast. This is a fundamental shift in your fuel strategy. Protein and healthy fats slow down glucose absorption. They prevent sharp blood sugar spikes that trigger excessive insulin release. Instead of a carb-heavy breakfast like cereal or toast, consider eggs with avocado and some greens. Instead of a sugary snack, opt for a handful of nuts, seeds, or Greek yogurt. This helps stabilize your fuel system throughout the day. It keeps insulin levels more steady and your energy more consistent. It's like using premium, stable fuel for your engine. Second, incorporate strength training into your routine. Muscle is your metabolic powerhouse. The more muscle mass you have, the more efficiently your body uses glucose, even at rest. Strength training, even just 2 to 3 times a week, significantly improves insulin sensitivity. It increases the number and responsiveness of glucose transporters in your muscle cells. It's like upgrading your engine's internal components to handle fuel more effectively. Researchers at Harvard Medical School have consistently highlighted the impact of resistance exercise on metabolic health. It's a powerful antidote to insulin resistance. Third, optimize your sleep environment and duration. We touched on sleep earlier, but its role in insulin sensitivity cannot be overstated. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality, uninterrupted sleep in a cool, dark, quiet room. Even one night of poor sleep can temporarily increase insulin resistance by 20 to 30%. Chronic sleep deprivation is a direct pathway to metabolic dysfunction. Think of sleep as your engine's essential nightly repair cycle and software update. Without it, performance degrades quickly. Fourth, strategic movement throughout the day, not just formal exercise. You don't need to run a marathon. Even short bursts of movement make a difference. A 10-minute walk after meals, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, standing up and stretching every hour. All of these improve glucose uptake by your muscles. They reduce post-meal insulin spikes. This kind of movement is called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's incredibly powerful. It's about keeping your engine gently engaged, fluids circulating, preventing stagnation in your fuel lines, ensuring consistent energy distribution. These aren't just good habits, they are precise biohacks. They re-sensitize your cells to insulin. They reduce the burden on your pancreas. They restore your metabolic harmony. You're not just living longer, you're upgrading your engine for optimal performance. You're making sure it runs smoothly and powerfully for decades. In the next block, we'll go deeper into the mindset required to sustain these changes, and how to advocate for your health in a system that often overlooks these critical details. You'll be truly in control. We've covered the diagnostic tools and some foundational daily habits. But truly mastering your human engine after 40 requires more than just knowing what to do. It demands a shift in mindset. It's about becoming your own health advocate, recognizing that you are the primary engineer of your body. And not passively accepting the status quo. One of the biggest software bugs in our thinking is accepting vague answers or dismissing symptoms as just part of getting older. This is where self-advocacy comes in. When you go to your doctor, armed with knowledge about fasting insulin, HbA1c, and HOMA-IR, you're not just a patient. You're an informed partner in your health journey. Don't accept everything looks normal if you're still experiencing those warning signs. The stubborn belly fat, the energy crashes, the brain fog. Ask specific questions. Given my symptoms, could we investigate insulin resistance further with a fasting insulin test? My fasting glucose might not tell the whole story. Or, what are my options for improving insulin sensitivity beyond generic advice, considering my lab results? Be persistent, be polite, be firm in seeking complete answers. This proactive approach is crucial. The conventional medical system is excellent for acute care and emergencies, but it often falls short in addressing subtle, chronic metabolic shifts after 40. It's designed to treat disease once it's established, not necessarily to optimize your engine for longevity and high performance before a crisis. You need to lead the conversation. Bring your data. Bring your observations. This isn't about confronting your doctor. It's about collaboration, using what you feel in your own body to guide a more precise plan. Beyond the doctor's office, your daily routine is where the real transformation happens. Think of these as micro-adjustments to your operating system. Small changes repeated over time that recalibrate your performance. Here are 3 software updates for your daily routine that can profoundly improve insulin sensitivity and overall performance. First, meal timing, or time-restricted eating. This isn't about cutting calories. It's about giving your digestive system and your pancreas a break. Eating all your meals within an 8 to 12-hour window each day can significantly improve insulin sensitivity. It allows insulin levels to drop and stay low for longer periods. For example, if you have breakfast at 8 a.m., aim to finish dinner between 6 and 8 p.m. That longer fasting window lets your cells reset their insulin sensitivity. They become more responsive when you do eat. Research from the Salk Institute and several human studies shows promising results. Improved metabolic markers, less inflammation, better weight regulation. It's like giving your engine scheduled rest periods instead of running it at high RPM all the time. Second, strategic hydration and electrolyte balance. Proper hydration is fundamental for every cellular process, including glucose metabolism and insulin signaling. But it's not just about plain water. It's about electrolytes too, especially magnesium, potassium, and sodium. They are crucial for cell function and nerve communication. Many people over 40 are low in these minerals because of diet, stress, or medication use. Include electrolyte-rich foods like leafy greens, avocado, and nuts. Or consider a sugar-free electrolyte supplement, especially if you're active or on a lower-carb diet. It's like ensuring your engine has the right coolant and the right oil. Without them, it overheats, it wears out faster. Third, conscious stress regulation and cortisol management. Chronic stress is a silent saboteur of insulin sensitivity. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol. Cortisol raises blood sugar as part of the fight or flight response. In short bursts, that's life-saving. But chronic stress keeps the system switched on. That leads to chronically elevated blood sugar and more insulin resistance. This is a survival mechanism, but in modern life, it often works against your metabolic health. So it's essential to build daily practices that reduce your stress response. Meditation, deep breathing, time in nature, gratitude practices, or simply a few minutes of intentional silence. These habits help lower cortisol. They create a more favorable internal environment for your metabolism. It's like preventing your engine from redlining all day long. You bring it back into a safe operating range. These changes are not extreme, but they are powerful. They respect the delicate dance between hormones and metabolism. They put you at the center of the choices that support your engine for the long term. You're not just avoiding disease. You're choosing a life with more energy, clarity, and autonomy. Your engine was not made just to last. It was made to perform. And you're learning how to keep it that way. We've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about the silent engineering flaw called insulin resistance, the subtle signals it sends, and the practical steps you can take to recalibrate your human engine. We've taken what's often labeled as just aging and revealed the metabolic reality underneath. And most importantly, we've shown that there are science-backed solutions. But this journey is just beginning. If this information made sense to you, if it brought clarity, if it sparked a sense of power over your own body, if you're ready to stop accepting it's just your age as an answer, then here's an invitation. Join a community of men and women over 40 who have decided to treat their bodies like high-performance machines, with clarity, with autonomy, with energy. Not just collecting years. Subscribe to the Human Engine now. It's not just about getting more videos, it's about joining a movement that believes in extending your healthy years, not just your lifespan. A movement that equips you with knowledge to make that real. Now, let's tie everything together with a concrete vision of what's possible. Remember, insulin resistance is not a life sentence. It's a metabolic miscalibration, a software bug that can be corrected. By understanding your body's signals, asking for the right tests, and making consistent daily adjustments, you can profoundly change your health trajectory. Imagine this. In 7 days, you start noticing a real difference in your energy, fewer post-meal crashes, just by practicing time-restricted eating and prioritizing protein and healthy fats at breakfast. Your engine begins to feel less heavy, more responsive. In 30 days, with consistent strength training, strategic movement throughout the day, and stress regulation, your mood stabilizes. Your sleep improves noticeably. Those constant sugar cravings start to fade. Your engine runs smoother, stronger, more predictable. In 90 days, with dedication and consistency, you see clear changes in your lab results. Lower fasting insulin, a healthier HbA1c. You see changes in the mirror, especially around your midsection. You feel more in control, more vibrant, more capable than you have in years. You've upgraded your engine's firmware. This is not about perfection. It's about consistent, informed action. It's about taking back control of your health, becoming the master of your own biology. The knowledge you've gained today is a powerful tool. It only becomes transformation when you apply it. This is your chance to rewrite your health story. In our final block, we'll reflect on the deeper meaning of this journey, and we'll leave you with a powerful idea to carry forward. We've journeyed deep into the inner workings of your human engine. We've uncovered a silent engineering flaw that often goes unnoticed until it's too late. We've talked about insulin resistance, its subtle signs, and the science-backed steps that help you recalibrate your metabolic system, protecting your heart, your brain, and your vitality. Hold on to this truth. You were not given a broken engine. You were given one that needs precise maintenance, not blame. Your body, this remarkable machine, is built for resilience, for performance, for longevity. The changes you feel after 40 are not always signals of inevitable decline. Often, they're a clear request for a different kind of care, a more informed, proactive approach. The transformation we've discussed is not about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming vitality, autonomy, a deep sense of well-being. It's about moving from quiet struggle and resignation into conscious control and intentional optimization. The energy, mental clarity, and physical strength you want are not out of reach. They are waiting for the right adjustments, the right fuel, the right maintenance, and the right software updates. This is not just about avoiding disease. It's about living at full power, with a sharp mind, with the freedom to do what matters most, without being limited by fatigue or metabolic dysfunction. It's about adding more healthy years to your life, not just more years. Making sure your engine runs well in every one of them. You have the blueprint now. You have the tools. The decision to use them, to step fully into the role of chief engineer of your own human engine, is yours. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the human engine. If this content resonated with you, if it sparked new understanding or simply made you feel less alone in your experience, then I'll ask you for 3 things. First, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the Human Engine. Join our community of proactive people who want to master their health and unlock their full potential. Second, share this video with 3 to 5 people over 40 whom you care about. They may be facing the same silent struggles. This information could be the turning point they need to recalibrate their own engines. And finally, leave a sincere comment. Tell me what resonated most. Which change you're most excited to implement? Or suggest a topic for our next deep dive into the inner workings of your incredible human engine. Until next time, keep optimizing.